My name is Jenny Harden. I am conducting this interview on behalf of Unity Hospice. Today we are interviewing Richard Miech. The date is November 17th, 2015, and this interview is being conducted in Yorkville, Illinois. The purpose of this interview is to record the veteran experience of Richard Miech for the Veterans History Project. Can you please tell me your full name?
My full name is Richard Daniel Miech.
And where were you born, Richard?
I was born in the city of Milwaukee,
All right. And
June the 17th, 1931.
Good. And what branch of service did you serve in?
I was in the Army,
And what was the highest rank that you attained?
private first class.
In what war or conflict did you serve in?
This was with the Korean conflict, as it was called back then.
Right. All right, we're going to get a little background history on you. Richard, where were you born?
I was born in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. And what are the names of your parents?
My father's name was Lawrence, my mother Marie.
And what were their occupations?
Well, my father worked at A.O. Smith Company as a tool and die maker, and my mother worked for for Alice Chalmers that was located in West Dallas at that time.
Okay. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one brother, 18 months younger than I. I had one, and he's passed away.
Okay.
I had a sister, Carol, and I have a younger brother, David, or excuse me.
That's all right. Take your time.
A younger brother. Excuse me.
That's all right. You're fine.
I don't know.
That's okay. How about were any of them in the military as well?
No, they did not serve.
No. What about your dad or your grandpa, or did you have any other military?
No, I had no other military people in the family.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what you did before the service, before you entered the Army.
Before I entered the Army, well, I started in grade school. I went through 8 years of parochial grade school in the city of West Dallas, and that was St. Mary's Parish, St. Rita's Parish in the city of West Dallas. And then after that, I went to high school, Pius XI High School in the city of Milwaukee. And when I graduated from high school on June the 6th, I recall, and the 30th or 31st of that month is when we entered the Korean War. I had made arrangements to go to college prior to graduating high school. I spent one semester at college at the University of Wisconsin, and then I decided to enlist into the service because I would have school time coming from the GI Bill.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What were you going to go to college for?
Yeah, I was going to go for engineering.
Oh, okay. All right. So you served in the military, you served in the Army. Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I enlisted.
You did, okay. Do you remember what date that was? What year?
1950. Oh, yeah. No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. So you said you had no other military family, nobody's. Why did you choose the Army?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't want to serve in the Marine Corps. That was
okay. That's a good answer. And do you remember boot camp? Do you remember training camp?
Oh yes.
Tell me some memories about that.
Well, it was a normal, I think, 8 weeks of initial training, and at the end of that, I volunteered for airborne.
Oh, okay.
And then was sent for 2 weeks to Fort Benning in Georgia, to jump school, they called it at that time. And after that, then returned and was reassigned to the Army base at Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
And that was for your training?
That was after jump school.
That was after jump
we
school.
were
Okay.
sent back to
Okay.
our military base.
Okay. Did you enjoy basic training? Did you enjoy running and all the... What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part?
I can't say I had any favorite part.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I had volunteered for it, so
Right. You had no choice. Okay. Do you recall any of your instructors from training or from jump school?
no, I really don't.
Okay. All right. And so you went to jump school. Tell me a little bit about that. Do you have memories from that? Do you remember the first time you jumped? Did you...
Yes, I.
Tell me about it. I see it in your face. Tell me about it.
The first time out the door, I wet my pants.
Did you? Oh.
And well, over a period of training and then back when reassigned, I did a total of six jumps.
Okay. Did you enjoy it after your first one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So how did you adapt to military life? When you went to basic training and jump school, was it different food? Was it different?
Oh yes, very different food.
Did you enjoy it though? Were you able to?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And what about social life during training? Did you get to do anything fun with your fellow soldiers?
Well,
Did you?
we had what they would call, I don't very well recall all of the things, but
That's okay.
they shoot shot pool in the afternoon and at the in the barracks and
What was barracks life like?
well, barracks life, we had a barracks that there were the upper and lower. There were double beds, or what do you call the bunk beds
Bunk beds.
on the first floor, and then single beds on the second floor. And I resided on the second floor.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your wartime service. So you got sent to Korea, correct?
I didn't go overseas.
Okay.
They had no time. I served no time
Okay.
overseas.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the time when we were at war with Korea. You were back home, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you feel about that? What were your thoughts? What were your feelings?
Well, I can't say I really had any special feelings. I know if I did not volunteer, I was subject to the draft and may have had no choice on where I was sent.
Mm-hmm.
But having enlisted, we did have some say in where we wanted to serve.
Sure. And what was the reason that you weren't sent overseas? Do you know?
Oh, just not chosen, that's all.
Okay. All right. Were you kind of relieved?
Well, in a way, I would have to say that,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Did you have friends or anybody that you knew that went overseas?
I had a schoolmate went into the Navy. Ben Wilting was his name, and at one point while we both were in the service, I was home for a 3 or 4 day pass or something like that, and he called and he wanted to know if I wanted to go out with him and his lady friend at that time. His lady friend had a sister, and it was a blind date type of thing.
Right.
And her name was Gertrude, but she didn't care for that name. She went by the name of Trudy.
Okay.
And we went out and then started writing to each other. And then after I got out of the service, I called and we went out and began to go places together. I had been in school back then at that time, and after a while we began to get acquainted and liked each other, and I asked her to marry me.
Oh. What year was that?
1954.
And how long were you married?
We were married 30. is it 38 years?
That's amazing. That's amazing. So did you know her while you were stationed at Fort Campbell, right?
Well, I wasn't stationed there. We went to jump school there.
Oh, okay. So then
Yeah.
where were you stationed?
I was stationed at, did I, not,
Fort Benning,
you were
Georgia?
right, you were right.
Yeah,
I was stationed at Fort Campbell. No.
that's all right. Where was your main duty station?
That was there at,
Fort Benning?
not Fort
No.
Benning, no. You were right.
Fort Campbell?
Fort Campbell.
Okay. So did you know her while you were stationed at Fort
No,
Campbell? This
I
was
did not know
after?
her at that time.
Okay. I want to know a little bit more about your time in service. What kind of stories, what kind of memories do you have? Maybe friends that you made?
To tell you the truth, I can't remember a lot of things that went on in the service. I have no special, things to recall.
Yeah. Did you make some good friends?
Oh, I made friends that was in there, but I don't know where they
Yeah.
are now today.
Do you still keep in touch with Ben? You had mentioned your...
Occasionally, in fact, my son was asking about that here just about a week ago because we had been going out together. He had been taking me up to Milwaukee, and we had been getting together with him and going out for a dinner and having a couple drinks.
Oh, nice. How many kids do you have, Richard?
I have 7 children.
You have 7 children.
4 boys and 3 girls.
Okay. Any of them join the military?
No, none of
No?
them.
So you're the only one in your whole family, huh?
That's right.
Do you remember maybe any of the fun stories of when you were in service? Whether training or...
No, not particularly.
Okay. All right. Do you remember where you were when the Korean War ended? You were out of the service,
When
correct?
the Korean War ended, I'm trying to think of the date there, 90, was that 98 or no, not?
No. You were out of the service though, correct? You were already with...
I was out of the service and employed at that time.
Okay. Where were you employed at?
At first, after I got out of the service, I went to work for a manufacturing outfit in the city of Milwaukee. And the name, they built Caterpillar, they built auxiliary equipment for Caterpillar tractor.
Okay.
And about 8 months after I joined them, Caterpillar bought them out
Okay.
and began to operate in the city of Milwaukee.
Okay.
Then at that time they began to look for a place for Caterpillar to build a manufacturing plant. And there were 3 sites at that time that they were considering. And then the last one they settled on was the one here in Illinois. in Illinois. And began to build construction on the plant here.
Okay.
And then we later moved down from the city of Milwaukee.
Okay. So why did you get out of the service? Did you do your time and you were done? You didn't want to
I
serve?
signed up for 2 years and I didn't want to remain in the service.
No? Okay. All right. All right. So then, after you did your 2 years and you went back to being a civilian, was that hard for you to adjust being back to civilian life?
Not at all.
No, you were ready, huh? And currently, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts about
You look
this
like you had
interview?
No, what you were just thinking about. You look like you had some thoughts go through your head.
Well, your question, or
Yeah.
I was just
Okay. So, tell me some stories. I know you have to have some stories of just your life or anything that you would want to share with us. Maybe of your kids or your dating your wife.
Well, raising the children was a chore. I mean, we enjoyed that, my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
At the time that we moved from the state of Wisconsin to Illinois here to begin work at the new Caterpillar plant, we had 3 children at that time, the first 3, Richard, Michael, and Marguerite.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was about 8 months pregnant with the 4th child, Daniel, and she wanted to remain with her obstetrician in Milwaukee. So at that time, when it came about a month before the baby was due, she moved back with her mother
Okay.
in the city of Milwaukee and was there when Dan was born in the city of Milwaukee. And following that, years later, we had three more. We had one boy, David, and then two girls, Marguerite, no, not Marguerite, what am I thinking? Denise and Marie.
Okay.
And they're all married now, and I have 14 grandchildren.
Wow.
Well, 13 grandchildren, and one adopted,
Okay. Okay.
and 8 grandchildren, 8 great grandchildren.
Right. That's amazing, Richard. That's great. Do you get to see them often?
Not often,
Not often.
but come Thanksgiving time coming up, we have a family activity
Oh, that's
planned
good.
and I'm sure they'll all be invited, except one son who's living in Colorado. I don't think he'll be. He lives in the suburb of Denver, but I don't believe he'll be in for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's Michael.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your wife. When did you guys get married? What was your wedding date?
August the 28th in, what was the year, 19, I think
Yeah.
earlier,
That's okay.
August 28th.
And so tell me what's some fond memories you have
Fond memories of,
with your wife?
well,
Did you do vacations? Did you?
we did a vacation. In fact, we did a vacation to Hawaii on our 25th, for our 25th wedding anniversary,
Oh,
and spent 2 weeks out in the Hawaiian Islands.
yeah.
And
So let me ask you this. I want to know, for serving in the Army, how do you think that affected your life?
oh, can I say, how would it affect my life?
Do you think it affected your life in any way?
Well,
That you served a
I'm
couple
sure in a
years?
way I
Yeah.
didn't go for all the killing and everything,
Right.
you know, but I was not involved in conflict, so
Mhm.
for that I can say I can remain thankful.
Yeah, sure. And maybe what are some life lessons? Let's say if you have your great grandchild is watching this right now. What are some life lessons maybe that you learned in the military, maybe after the military?
Life lessons.
Yeah, what are some thoughts or feelings?
Well, just learn to be thankful for all the goodness that you have in life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And if one of your grandchildren was to come to you and say, "Grandpa, I'm going to join the Army," what would you say?
what would I say?
Yeah.
Don't volunteer.
Don't do it. So on that note, what are your thoughts and feelings about what's going on right now in the world?
Well, just recently with all the big things going on in France, there's 132 people shot, killed by wild people out there. I don't know what the hell they're thinking out there.
Right.
I don't know where it's going to end.
Do you think it'll ever end?
Oh, I think it'll never end. I just hope that it just won't evolve into another world war.
Right. Right. So I just want to know maybe what thoughts, what do you want to say to future generations when they're watching this of you? What's a message, a legacy that you want to leave for them?
Oh,
Anything you want to say.
have a good job, live a good life. involve your children with everything you've from what you've learned, and hope that they all remain alive for a long, long time.
Yeah. Are all of your children still alive?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Good. So this comes the part of your recording where it's a free-for-all. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever. If you have anything else you want to share. If not, that's okay. I just want to, if there's anything else that you want to share. Any stories, whether...
I'm thinking, I'm trying to... Oh, no, I don't believe I have any other things to share.
All right. Well, on behalf of everybody at Unity Hospice, I want to thank you for your service
You're welcome.
in the Army. And thank you for sitting down and taking some time with me to do this interview. Your future generations will thank you for that.
I hope so.
Yeah, they will. So thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.